So naturally, the second try after they tamper with the phone that screenshotted as well in the back. You're gonna run the screenshot. Also, at the same time, they're throwing reduction drugs. See one from before again. And so again, there's no digital crimes and drug crimes. There's one crime, which is this war crime, and they have digital drugs and the criminals you're seeing all the time. They're everywhere. They cattle heads all the time, like heads of cattle for 42. More of it, you know. You come up with a better name. I cannot. None of the options I come up with good enough. Anyway, so I was just talking about how many things they seem like good morning, good night. It's also reference to this crime, almost as much. It's almost as old as the coughing thing. And the point that is, which by the way, the coughing is supposed to be what I imagine is a joke about the drug to begin with, the ones from all the way back home, and how much it dates back, so how relevant. Being safe. Okay. So how much it dates back to? So how much it dates back? By the way, those teenagers or preteens or whatever. But other than that, you should listen as this. Okay. Remember earlier when I said I was doing that involuntarily, but now it's a bit more on the nose because it's much stronger. Obviously not done by the teenagers. Again, when the shoe goes from the front to the back, and you've seen the back better than I am, so kind of like you tell me. Continuing. I imagine it was. I didn't know what it was. I imagine it was just because I always try to be polite. Single day and night, but you could imagine that it's also a reference to commercial, which is not to be confused with commercial phenomenon, which is when I was one day making an audio recording and I referenced how this crime is in the city already when Benny was here, and I make a reference to, as they're doing some type of drug crime or not, I make a reference to the Truman Show and saying how much is relation. And then all of a sudden after that I started receiving a shitload of notifications to a movie from the 1997 that they turned around looking straight down at me as if he was seeing an alien as of right now. And you're seeing what I was doing, so I'm just testifying that was eyewitness to that criminal passing by looking down, as if he was seeing an alien. Continuing. And then I started receiving notifications on YouTube about recommendations of a movie from 1997 for no reason. Never searched it, never searched anything much of that, never named it. The file was Who's Me and how the orange of this thing. I know for sure I didn't put the name anywhere. I even typed it on the phone. I just verbally mentioned it on an audio recording that was offline the entire time. The phone doesn't have anything activated for AI, and the phone didn't even have that one on it. I think it was this one. No, it was the Argentinian one that went back. I don't know. It was one of those older ones. It didn't have any of that. And after that, I started receiving recommendations for a movie from 97 with nothing recent being said about it. Like, there's no reason in the world why I received notifications about that, and both because of the obvious reference to this crime and how related it is. And how bizarre and self-explanatory it is, was born the Truman Show phenomenon. So every time I receive recommendations or things like this that clearly manufactured by the criminals, both for how fitting it is and because of this reference specifically, that's the Truman Show phenomenon. Now it could be a Truman Show reference, that's a reference to the movie that they also have this thing with good day, good night, good morning. Cannot say for sure. What I can testify to you is that's something that they do. Kind of like coughing, and as old as coughing, it's all the way back home. Okay, the huge feel, it's like saying good day, and it's like giggling with someone else for some reason. What else? Something I actually wanted to say. In a second, as we're going to see more crimes creeping up, because that's the objective that they're doing those things for. And while struggling, they're going to see them pouncing on it, usually how they do. jump to what I was saying before because I remember I chose not to mention it. That's why I always say, by the way, so instead you get another explanation for the full day of explanations, right? You have a couple of those recently as well. So another one, and you know how, and by the way, the bleeding, when I saw those symptoms. Every time I rush and I start to speak as quickly as possible. Early today in the morning, I said the reason I do that is not even because of the things physically I see they're doing all the time and I keep continuing. I'm bad to comment on that. But it's because of the drugs and the effect they have on my mind and how the drugs are designed to make me no longer function as a human being, and the drugs that the main point and the sole factor which leads to those things, not sole, but the main factor. That alongside of other things. Now we're seeing a lot of the impact, ironically enough, of the psychological drugs as well, which is doing all the time. And that's the difference, right? Those things, let's listen to them. Just for the record, by the way, the power bank actually fully charged. So we can free up the cable into something else. That's important. Done. Simple as that. But the issue is, this is the phone that they were stopping from charging the other day. This almost like a blessing in the sky. Okay, we're gonna have another that. Yeah, man, the crimes they do recently, usually when they try something new, how much they're reliant on narcotics and drugs in general. Because whenever they try something new, it usually blows up in the face. How many explanations came directly today in this whole day alone? Since I got in the mall, not even early, since I got in the mall, how many major things that I commented on, I explained, at least with examples, and kind of, it's even something got proved, not just explained, but proved, as a result, or through, or is a concept, is the same thing, or how can I say, I explain it and they prove it to you in a way. So they prove there's another explanation was more my choice, directly out of their choice. So I don't know what the plan there was, or if it was meant to overwhelm me with stuff. We still have free space on the phone. I have a lot of explanations being very well done on YouTube, which are far more logical for anyone to watch than random videos of the phone being rubbed on my leg. And even if it doesn't happen, you should use it as an argument. For most of those, it's just me talking anyway, so it's not even like they can do shit about it. It's not like God always says they can, but they can talk. And as I said, that's usually how the genius plans go. But then you have this, and as I keep saying, that they will be nothing without the narcotics or the drugs. Yeah. That's what I mean. So we can count that as another explanation. Because at the end of the day, without the drugs, even the physical stuff that is going on us, yes, us, because not just me, right? I don't know how I phrase that, I feel like I phrased that wrong. What I mean to say, without the things they have going on us, the psychological things are so much easier to ignore. I can just full-blown ignore. Most of those I don't even pay attention to. Either I'm trying to prove something to you, as I just did today, or because they're putting narcotics in the air and they assault me regardless of what I do. You not just put the headphones and ignore that. But you also got to witness a couple of final things, which is how reactive they are to a couple of things. I just saw they're getting astoundingly euphoric that when I finished the call to Tanya, and then freaking out, the use of children in their crimes, which explain them to you. And remember what? We didn't finish the screen recordings for the videos of earlier, so we're going to do that now as well. I'll get out this space. I almost biting the butter.